Well, tough opening game from the perspective. If you take a look at the score, it's 61-60 with about 6.5 minutes to go in the game. So if you told me heading into the game that's where we would be, I would have taken that every time on the road up at X. I think there were some things that I saw that we certainly did well, that we can build upon. We've got to do a better job of rebounding and limiting our turnovers. And also not fouling. And some of the fouls were very careless fouls that had nothing to do with the play. And I think everyone's going to be searching and adjusting to the way the games are officiated now. So that's going to go both ways. But we have to eliminate the ones that have nothing to do with the game and putting a team on the free throw line. But, the key for us now is how do we come back from that defeat? Do we get better in those areas that I mentioned early as we prepare here to take on Kenyon College and a team that hasn't played this year? So, the only thing we basically have, I guess, is, some of the stuff from last year. But so we're going to have to be focused and locked in, and you hope by having a veteran team that we'll be able to make some adjustments on the fly, that guys will be able to make adjustments themselves out on the court. They're going to come in and they're going to try to come in and win the game, obviously. But more importantly, this is a big game for their kids. They have good basketball players. They're a well-coached team. And we've certainly learned from the past, hopefully, that you have to be prepared. You have to be focused and locked in on every single game and be ready to play.
You talk about taking some of those positives away from Xavier. What are some of those things that you do take away from Friday's game?
Well, let me probably do it backwards to forwards. You look at the second half, we don't come out, we don't have a very good start, which is one of the things we talked about in the locker room. I think we go down 12. We find a way to persevere and hang in, and next thing you know, it's a one-possession game. So that tells me a little bit about our grit that we have inside. I thought one of the things that we were able to do is we got to the foul line a little bit. I'd like to get there a lot more, but we were able to make free throws. We had multiple guys that stepped up and knocked down shots. And then we played 10 guys, I believe, and I thought we showed that we're going to have some flexibility. And, we got in foul trouble, and we had some guys that stepped up, came off the bench, did very well. I thought Rod Mills certainly provided something that he can continue to grow up from and off of. Watching him on tape and what he was trying to do defensively was certainly pleasing. We've got to, continue to just play together and stick together. I think one of the things that I did like for sure is that I thought the group stuck with each other. And even though they stretch, we cut it, and they take away, I didn't feel like there was ever any time when we came apart at the seams. And so, I think those are things that we can certainly take forward. And then if we handle those other things, which in many ways are little things, but are extremely important to being successful, then I like where we sit.
Busy week ahead, pretty much 8 games in 8 days. Already have kind of reviewed Kenyon. Talk a little bit about the tournament we have coming in this weekend, the Men Against Breast Cancer Challenge.
Well, one, I think we have a really quality field, Northeastern, Florida Atlantic, and Lipscomb. So you look at that field and those 3 teams coming in from a coaching perspective, we've got our hands full, and we're going to have to play very well. Of those 3, you look at Northeastern and the terrific success they had last year, extremely well coached, and they've got a group of kids back, and they're poised to have another quality season. And I think if you look at Lipscomb, you look at FAU, and you look at us, I think we're teams that in some ways are in the same boat, teams that are looking to have that quality season to build on the previous year. So it should be an interesting tournament. I think from a community standpoint, we hope to get a good turnout because I think you're going to see some really good teams. And you're going to see a competitive tournament And not very often do we have these teams here in town and to have them here all together. Certainly for us, an event that that we're having that we're really enjoying. It gets us 3 home games and an opportunity to play in front of the home folk. So we're certainly excited about that, and more importantly, for a terrific cause, Men Against Breast Cancer. So, you look at that and what it's all about, and that, you've got all these programs that are here in town that, have been affected by cancer in some way or another, I'm sure. So to be able to help that worthy cause is certainly something that we certainly support.
How important is it to have a deep bench, especially this weekend, 3 games in 3 days?
Incredibly. I mean, you think about it, if you've got 6 or 7 guys, although you will hear me say if you got 6 or 7 of the right guys, then, they figure it out. But it's nice to have some depth. It really is. And hopefully you can use that depth throughout the course of the tournament, because I think where it really shows up is late in game 2 and then, of course, in game 3. And so, hopefully we can use it. We can play well. We can stay out of foul trouble. We can use multiple bodies, and that guys will be able to come in and be productive. It's not depth if you're not getting production from those guys that are coming off the bench. And then the thing is, too, is that you're accepting of your role. That's the key to having quality depth. If you have depth and guys aren't happy, well, I'm not starting, this guy's starting, it doesn't matter that you have it. But guys that are accepting, guys that are ready to come in and contribute, guys that are locked in when they're sitting on the bench, a team that is locked in when they're on the bench, and that they're watching the things that are going on out on the court, because they know their opportunity could just be a second away. And so those are the areas that we have to continue to grow in, and hopefully our kids understand that. For instance, you take a look at Willie Moore in the last game. Willie didn't start, but I think Willie probably played about 34 minutes. And that's not to say Willie's going to play 34 minutes or anyone's going to play 34 minutes every game. But, I always tell guys, I don't know. I understand the starting thing, but at the end of the day, I don't know how much that means. And what I'm looking for are those people that are consistent in practice, that consistently do the things that we ask them to do. But not only that, they bring the right attitude. And so that's important.
This tournament promotes breast cancer awareness. Right. Talk about what the staff and the team are going to do to help promote that.
Well, first of all, let's face it. I don't know anyone that hasn't been affected in some way by cancer, some type of cancer. And obviously we have a lot of terrific things that go on here in this community. Luna Cares comes up top of my mind, and different things that have been done, and people that are really, really taking steps forward to really try to help prevent cancer and help cancer patients. And so, Men Against Breast Cancer is a terrific thing that we're a part of. Certainly we'll probably wear a nice bright pink shirt at some point during the tournament, but and we'll make sure that all the participating teams have the pink ribbons and everything else. But, we want to be able to continue to do our part, in the fight against cancer. Obviously, there's a time that's going to come during the season when you're going to have all the coaches here against cancer. And in fact, we're treating it the same way. We'll be in, slacks, tennis shoes, and that kind of thing. But it's an unbelievable cause. It's a worthy cause, and it's an opportunity to step outside of yourself and try to the best you can of helping others.
Thank you, and good luck this week.
Thank you.